Hello, everyone. I'm John Evans. Welcome to another episode of One on One. He has spent years in the spotlight. College coaches, baseball scouts, Whiteville fans all wanted to watch MacKenzie Gore pitch for the Wolfpack baseball team, and he rarely disappointed any of them. When his high school career was done in 2017, he was called the best high school baseball player in the country. He won national awards, was on magazine covers. He was the number 3 draft pick, signed a multi-million-dollar deal to play professional baseball. But none of that seems to have changed this tall left-hander. You're going to meet a grounded, down-to-earth 19-year-old who is determined to work hard and earn his way to the major leagues.
I get up in the mornings, have a morning lift every day, and then I'll leave the field, kind of get some food and go back, and then I'll come back to the field midday when the team gets there a little bit, and I'll throw with them. And after that, it's pretty free. So after I get my work in, I'm probably done about 3 o'clock every day, and it's kind of a free day from there.
Now, a lot of people think that off-season for baseball players is, go to the beach, surf, whatever you want to do. But you're as busy now on some things as you were when you were actually playing ball at Whiteville High School.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is huge. The off-season's huge because you've got goals you want to meet. You got to get better every day. You got to get stronger and be ready to hold up for a full season. And it's kind of the goal every day in the off-season is just to get better. And, you're shooting for that report date. When you get there, you're showing them that you're ready to go. What
was it like going from your days at Whiteville High School when you were basically a dominant pitcher in many instances, and then going out to rookie ball when you're playing against other rookies, other high draft picks, other talented guys everywhere you look?
Yeah, it was different, obviously. There was a lot of older guys, and there was a lot of talent out there, but just kind of did what I did in high school. Just kept doing what I was doing and made adjustments here and there, and it worked out good this summer. I ended up throwing pretty good. There was at times there was really good starts, and then there's really bad. So it was good though.
Well, what do you consider a really bad start now? Because for you, a bad start was giving up a run when you were in Whiteville High School.
Yeah. Well, the last one was really bad. It was about, I don't even know if I got 2 innings, walked 3 guys. Like, it was rough. I'd never done that before, so it was good to end on that. This year, I'm not going to try to do that anymore. But
right, no, I understand.
It was good because it kind of got me hungry, going into the off season.
And your coach told me, I talked to him a little bit before you came in, and he said one of the things is that you have always tried to learn when you didn't play well. Yep. You've always tried to take something away from it. You never rested on your laurels. You've never been happy. You threw 95. You want to throw 96. Yep. You struck out 13. You want to strike out 14. You gave up 2 hits. You only want to give up 1. So what did you take away from that, MacKenzie-wise, to make yourself better?
There was some adversity. We had got to the game a little late. And really I learned that not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's just going to be set out for me. And when I face adversity, still got to be able to get people out and, get my routine in before the game and be able to prepare. So.
Yeah, because the coach, they don't want to hear excuses at that level, do they?
No. At any level, there shouldn't be excuses, and that was good in high school because I couldn't make them. Coach Hard wouldn't let me, and that helped me prepare for the next level too.
Now, you're 18, 19? 18. 8 years ago, you didn't even like baseball.
Yeah, it was just kind of starting to get going. I wasn't very good, so yeah.
Is that amazing to you? That you'd have rather played soccer.
Yep.
You'd have rather played almost anything other than baseball at that time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool too because you're like, I wonder where I'll be in 8 years from now. So it makes you look forward to things and shows you how quick things can change too. So.
What made you turn toward baseball? What was there something maybe mom or dad said? Was there a friend?
It just kind of all my friends played, and I just kind of started doing it, and I started having a little bit of success. And then when you live in Whiteville, everybody plays baseball, so
right.
And you get that feeling, and you just keep going. And I got where I was working hard at it, and just kind of tasted some success, and it made me want to keep going.
Did you know about Whiteville's history growing up?
Not really when I was young, but yeah, when you start playing in the Dixie Youth there, you figure it out pretty quick. people were kind of like, what big leaguers did you watch? But when you play in Whiteville when you're young, you go watch the high school guys.
Yeah.
And you look up to them. So.
Who was the guy that you looked up to when you were younger and playing high school?
Hunter Smith. So he was a competitor, man, and he won the ball, and I really looked up to him. And he's in the Red Sox organization right now.
Have you touched base with him?
Yeah, I talked to him a time or two this offseason, and he's doing good. He's feeling good, and his Grant, his brother, me and him were really close when we were young, same age as me, playing at Brunswick Community College right now. So, small world.
Yeah, it is. Believe me. As you get older, you realize just how small it is. Believe me. When was the first time you realized that what God put on that left shoulder of yours was special?
That's a tough question. When you're always a good player, but there was a lot of other good players around me. When I started getting in high school and kind of dominating games, being able to take over on the mound, it was kind of like you could tell I was going to be able to play in college. I never really thought about the pro stuff until this past year and a little bit of my junior year. But yeah, kind of like at the midpoint of this season, it was kind of like, this is legit. Like, we might have a chance to go just get drafted and stuff. So
anybody ever tell you that when you were younger?
Yeah, there's always talk. You got the old-time guys in Whiteville. They're always talking, so you heard the noise. But, I had something pinned to my Twitter for a while, and it was ignore the noise, and that's kind of what I did. I just kept on doing what I was doing, and I had to set on East Carolina, but it worked out very well because I didn't get caught up in the hype. And
right.
I still worked hard and got better every day.
And that's what your coach told me. He said, you're really good at ignoring the noise.
Yeah.
Because you were the noise for a long time. And so did you ever feel like you were creating that on some of your other teammates?
This year's team handled it just as good as anybody could have. Because you would see articles like, in the playoffs, this team's taking on Gore. They wouldn't say this team's taking on Whiteville. And I got tired of hearing it too. I was like, but everybody knew that. All the players knew that. I was all in for the team. I wasn't a selfish guy, and I'd do anything for them. So that worked out good, and they handled it like they handled just as good as they could have.
As the only senior on this past year's team, you had to almost be like the coach on the field. Yeah,
it was like a big brother kind of deal. Like I didn't hang out with the guys a lot off the field, which I really didn't do anything, but it was because they were kind of like little brothers, and that's how I looked at them. I loved all of them, and I would get on at practice, and they wouldn't always like me. But, they knew that at times, like, I would do anything, and it was good, and I would help them anyway if they needed a ride here or there because they were young now.
Yeah, and sometimes leaders aren't going to be liked. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what's best even though people don't realize what's best.
Yeah.
And did you have any instances where, you had to kind of, call somebody out here and get them in line as that leader?
Oh, yeah. And everybody. there was times they called Coach Hard would have to call me out. I wasn't always doing what I needed to do, and we held each other accountable, and that's why we had success.
And you did have a lot of success.
Yeah.
3 high school championships in 4 years at Whiteville. Your junior year, though, you lost. And I was reading some articles as I got ready for this today, and I asked your coach about this. I want to tell you what he said in a moment. But do you think losing as a junior was actually good for you?
Yes, I think it helped. Because that's all I knew. I had just won the year before. And then, my junior year, it kind of made where I had to be a better leader. I had a great year stat-wise, but I had to be a better leader for the team the next year. And it just made me where I just wanted to, I had that drive from that day we lost until the start of the next year, I had that drive. I wanted to win. Because that losing was a terrible feeling.
Especially in the playoffs, when you're expected, you're the big dog.
Yeah, in the state championship.
Yeah, you're the big dog there, coming off 2, and everybody at that point in time is starting to know this MacKenzie Gore kid out of Whiteville.
And it was a really bad feeling. And then, you see those seniors, they have to go out. My freshman year we didn't have a senior on the team, but my sophomore year you got to send those seniors out on a state championship, and it was great. But then I had to watch those guys lose, and kind of that's what their last taste was. It wasn't fun. So
yeah, and that's what your coach said when I asked him. He said it helped because you took it personally. Yeah. Is what he said after losing as a junior there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And do you think that made you better then? Because afterwards, then you went out and you were invited to an all-star game.
Yeah, in San Diego.
Yeah, talk to me about that, because that wasn't exactly one of your best performances either.
No, it wasn't. So, yeah, that was in August, I believe.
Yeah.
And I didn't throw very well. And that was good, too, for me. That was really good because it made it where I saw where I was compared to all the other good, like the best high school players in the country, and it made it where, all right, I'm going to be as good. I want to be the best out of all of them. So, and that made it where that off season, it's kind of the same schedule as this one. I worked hard, like just as hard as I could, and I had that drive. And, I had 2 times in my life where I didn't succeed, and it made it where I was a lot better player the next year.
You went out there in San Diego and 39 pitches in one inning, and that is, I mean,
That's
you've gone through you've gone through innings and thrown 9 pitches before.
Yeah.
So your mindset, you walk out there for that inning, and you're expecting to blow through people, and then what started to happen?
Well, it was 2 quick outs actually, and then I don't know, something happened, and I just kind of lost it. Kind of let the game speed up on me. I mean, I can't tell you what happened or why it happened, and I kind of fell apart, and that's all I could say.
And then you came back. What did you do that off season? You put on.
I put on some weight. I always put on about the same, 10, 15 pounds. But this year, my junior year kind of made, the 95s, the 96s that spring. And then all the light kind of was on me, and it kind of everybody knew about it. So, but yeah, I put on some weight. I got a lot stronger, and then that helped too, because the year before my junior year, all the talk was I hadn't given up an earned run until the state championship. Yeah. So I couldn't finish. I wasn't strong enough to be, to finish. And then the next year, I had to be stronger and be better.
Once again, trying to quiet those people that found anything wrong with MacKenzie Gore at that point in time. How did you keep learning when you were having success? Because when you're blowing through people, then you're kind of going out there and you're going on maybe autopilot. Yeah. But you have to continue to learn along the way. How did you learn?
It was easy because I had people around me that wouldn't let me kind of set a cruise. There's always I was never perfect. Even when you throw a perfect game, you're not perfect. There's always something you miss. Like if there was games that wasn't very close and I was on the mound, I would work on things. There was always room to get better.
Like what? Like
a breaking ball that I hadn't been throwing well, like a changeup that needed to get a little better, and I would just throw them. And that was I wasn't able to just set a cruise because Coach Harwood wouldn't let me. He's the real deal, man. He's really good.
Yeah, and as you're seeing scouts in the behind the plate with their guns up, did you feel like you had to put on a show?
I really never paid attention to them, to be honest with you. I liked them because they brought a lot more people to the games. So
there you go.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made it where I don't want to pitch bad tonight. But then again, there was a game this spring that I didn't have my best stuff, and I gave up like 2 runs. But I competed, and that was one of the best games that the scouts liked because they saw where I competed, and that was good for me too. And that was early because we kind of got the don't give up a run out of the back of our head this year.
Yeah, kind of get that over with.
Yeah.
How key have your mom and dad been through all this?
They've been great. They supported me through everything, and it's been fun. They've had a lot of fun on the journey. It's been great.
Do they keep you grounded like my family keeps me grounded?
Oh yeah, yep.
Because my kids and my wife won't let me think too much of myself.
Oh yeah, I got 2 sisters too. So they tone me down a little bit.
Yeah. So what's that like? What's it like to have the family try to keep you grounded? Because obviously you're not a guy who likes the spotlight. I know just from hearing John and reading the other stuff. But it's still got to be good to have them kind of chop you down a peg or two, even when you do start thinking a little bit of yourself.
Yeah, it's great, and it's made it where I don't cross the line. I mess with them all the time and make comments, but
sure.
But I know, I watch how my parents carry themselves, and I watched how my sister, my older sister, has been great for me. She's in a wheelchair. She graduated from college with her master's, and she's working, and that was big for me because nothing's going to stop you, and that was big.
Tells you that if she can do it and she can continue to work, nothing's out of reach.
No excuses, and it made it where she works hard at everything she does, So why I don't have any excuses where I can't work hard.
Yeah,
Yep. So.
that's got to be a good feeling when you have somebody like that who is as proud of you as you are of them.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yep.
a neat thing. The night that you were named the Gatorade Athlete, or I guess it was the afternoon that you were given the Gatorade Athlete of the Year, an entire town pretty much put a good one on you that day.
Yeah.
Take me back to that day when Kerry Wood popped out and surprised you.
Funny story. So there was like a photo shoot the day before, and they said it was for ESPN or something. I believed it. But I had to get up at we had to be at the field early the next morning before school, and I was not happy, and I didn't really know why.
Right.
But they gave me the award that morning, and then later about lunchtime, I think.
Yeah.
We had a ceremony at school, and then that night there was a dinner downtown. So it was a great day. I got to meet Kerry Wood, and Coach Godwin actually came down. Turner, my family was there.
Yeah.
There was a lot and then my team was there, and they dumped the Gatorade on me. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great.
The first of many times I would imagine that's going to happen to you in your life.
We
And
hope so.
with the young lady, Sydney McLaughlin, you got
Yep.
a chance to really get to know her a little bit, walking the red carpet, going out to California. What was those experiences like?
That was cool because there were other special athletes in other sports. I'd always been around very good baseball players and stuff like that, but I'd never kind of been around she's the real deal. She's already been in the Olympics, and she holds her own with people, and it was pretty cool to talk to her.
Who do you get starstruck over?
Oh, man.
When you were going through, did you ever see? I mean, when you were going on the red carpet and doing the ESPYs, and you saw somebody, it's like, man, I'd really like to meet them. Can you introduce me to that person?
I'm gonna be honest. When I was on the red carpet, I never got that feeling. It was crazy. The red carpet, it was like so much stuff going on at one time. It wasn't like what people think it is really. I'm not down it or anything because it's pretty cool.
No, I understand, but
like you had Russell Wilson. And then the night before, I ate dinner with Aaron Rodgers. That was really cool.
Yeah, I saw the picture. You posted a picture with him, didn't you?
Oh, he posted one with me.
Oh, he posted one. Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He posted one with you. You
on
didn't
the
post
ground.
one with him. There you go. That works.
Yeah, so that was cool. Then you saw, Peyton Manning was there. And it kind of was, whenever you walk the red carpet, it's about timing who's going at that time. So, But it was pretty cool.
Of all of the awards that you got, what means the most?
The state championship for sure.
Which one?
The last one. Well, every one of them, but the last one is great.
And why? What sets that one apart?
It's the last thing, that was my job. I had won 2 before that, and, all these young guys, they didn't have one. They were there the year before, but we couldn't do it. So it was my job to get them one. And, you saw the people supported us. Like, it was great. And, the community deserved it, and then all their support with me through all this stuff. I'm on the other side of the country my junior year, and it was great. And then it was just for everybody. Yeah. And it wasn't even for me. Like when they called us the state champions, I kind of took a step back and let all the young guys go touch the trophy first. That's just kind of how I felt the whole year. It was a lot of fun.
They set a night that you would pitch every week for the Whiteville community.
Yeah.
Coach set Tuesday nights as the night everybody in Whiteville knew MacKenzie was going to pitch.
Yeah, and that was cool too because we had big crowds usually when I pitched, and that was a lot of fun.
That's how important. But when you sit back, you probably get more out of that when you're 45 or 50 and you're looking back. What does that mean to you now?
I took it in every time I went out. Like the last game I threw ever at Whiteville, I started and. I don't know how many people were there, but there was standing room only. The seats were full 30, 45 minutes before the game started. And that meant, and it was kind of, they all were there to see me. And they wanted to see us win, but we had already won game 1, and it was great. Right before, there was 2 outs in the last inning, Coach Harwood had a mound visit, and I went and said something. It was great. Coach Harwood handled everything really good this year, and I appreciate everything he done for me.
When he can you share what he said?
I'll just keep that between us.
Well, when you're talking to your teammates out on the field, was it ever like, man, look at all these people here, or they're all here to see you, Mac?
Yeah, I would make comments. Yeah, like we got a good crowd tonight. Come see us play. I would never say, make the comments they're coming to see me.
No, I know what you mean. You say
mean.
that.
Yeah, but they would make comments like, MacKenzie, look at all the scouts here, and they enjoyed it too, and that was a lot of fun to see them because they loved it, and it made them play a little harder.
Yeah.
And it also gave some of them opportunities, and it's great.
And they're going to look back.
Oh yeah.
In 20 or 30 years and say, I played with that kid.
Yeah.
And this is my time.
Mm-hmm.
How important is that to you, that you gave them that experience that they're never going to forget?
It's great. And I like being able to know that I helped somebody out. Who knows what if I did something where it's like I want to work hard like him, and they're successful in life and something. And I just want to be able to give back to the community and my teammates and everybody that's I've touched on the way. So.
You're giving back this weekend, aren't you? Don't you?
Yep,
Don't you have
we got a camp tomorrow?
Talk to me a little bit about a baseball camp.
So me and Mike Wright and Donnell Nixon, me and Mike Wright played at Whiteville. So that should be a good crowd. Hopefully. It's a fundraiser for the baseball team, and we'll see how it goes.
What do you hope to do? Is that the first of? Do you have those kind of plans for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Year in, year out. So, but this is the first one for me. So we'll have to. I'm probably gonna have to learn after this one too.
Yeah, it's different when you're the player, and then all of a sudden you're the quote unquote expert of the whole group.
Yeah.
Draft night. Replay that in your mind for me.
Draft night there was a lot of anticipation. We're like, where am I going to go? We hadn't heard anything, but it was just me and my family. There wasn't a big crowd at my house, and when we heard the name, it was a really good feeling. I had my family in there to celebrate with me. It was great. You
didn't know San Diego was likely the place you were going?
You saw the mocks and you knew they were interested, but
yeah.
Not until I heard the name. You were like, all right, I might go here.
Mm-hmm.
So
you were drafted on the 12th. You get the phone call. The 23rd, I guess, is when you signed. I guess it was like 10, 11 days.
It felt like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it a long time?
It felt
in your mind.
Yes.
In your mind.
Yes.
What was that like? What was that process like?
Waiting until the sign. I was like, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to start playing. But it was cool when I got to San Diego. Had throw out the first pitch, got to be around the guys. That was a lot of fun.
But negotiations wise,
that was easy. I really didn't have to do anything about that. So
really?
I've got an agent, and they kind of just did all that.
Yeah, but but you weren't. They weren't calling that. They want to offer you this. There wasn't any back and forth.
No,
it was just at that point in time.
Yep.
Okay, cool. 24th, you go out there and you throw the first pitch. Now, there was a picture of you that I saw. You were walking out on the field, and both of your hands are up. You've got the jersey on, and it says Gore on the back, and you're walking out, and both of your hands are up. That is so unlike MacKenzie Gore to me, because you're not, you're not one that celebrates like that or that really seeks out the spotlight.
Yeah. You really want to know a story about that?
Yeah, I'd like that one.
My mom wanted to take that picture because the year before, I took a picture with the scoreboard in the outfield with my hands out, like this.
Right.
With my jersey on, and Mom was like, all right, we got to take another one.
Okay, so that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the year before I got one in my room from the All-American game, and then we took another one.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yep.
I was going to say, because if that was you walking out, I don't see you putting your hands up like that celebrating.
Nah. No, it was my mom's idea, but it was a cool picture.
It is. Yeah. It is. But knowing you, it's just so unlike MacKenzie to seek out the spotlight. Mm-hmm. They ask you to throw out the first pitch. You go out there to the mound.
Yeah, that was
your
tough.
Mindset.
That was tough. Now, it was a lot different when you don't have a jersey on, and I was like, I don't know. I thought I was going to either spike it or throw it over his head, and I about threw it over his head. So, but I was nervous there. It's a lot harder to throw out those than be in the game. So.
Is that the first time you've been nervous on the mound in a while?
I always get nervous, but like that was a different kind of nervous.
What kind?
I don't want to mess up here.
Because you only got one shot there, even if you throw a ball.
And this going on ESPN, if you throw it over their head, that was the pressure on me there. So.
Yeah. Did you ever feel pressure?
I always felt pressure, but it was never overwhelming or anything.
Not pressure that you couldn't deal with?
No. I always put a lot of pressure on myself anyway, so, there was never pressure I couldn't deal with.
Have you ever talked to any of the other guys, the high draft picks out of Whiteville, the Tommy Greens, the Threadgills, any of those guys?
I've not really. I talk to Mike Wright a lot.
Right.
But no, I haven't been able to talk to them much.
I'm just curious, and did you talk to any other pros along the way, junior year, senior year, about what lies ahead, what they may have given you any advice?
Yeah, here and there, you would kind of run into one. You just kind of pick your brain a little bit. But there was not one that I talked to every day.
Anybody give you really good advice that stuck with you?
Oh, they all gave me good advice. I don't really know of one thing that really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
There was. Just enjoy it.
Okay.
That was just enjoy it.
The hunting pictures that you posted on Instagram, are you an avid hunter?
I do hunt a lot. Yes.
Where do you go? What do you like to do when you're not playing baseball?
Hunt, play a little golf. I live on a golf course back at home, so I played a lot of golf before it got too cold. And that's about it. I'm kind of a boring guy.
Do you read what people write about you?
I try not to. I mean, it's when stuff's put in front of you that much, you're going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get caught up if it's a great thing about me or if it's a bad thing. It's kind of, it doesn't have any. It's not going to make you where if you move up quicker, if you play good, it's not going to have any effect on that unless you let it.
Right. If somebody says, and one of the things I've picked up is everybody is a lot of the Keith Laws, some of the other people that are so-called in the know.
Yeah.
So the one thing about you is that you've got 4 pitches that you can use with confidence.
Yes.
Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
Yep.
Is that important? Did you try to get to that level where you could command all 4?
Oh, yeah. I was always a guy, when I was younger, I was not big, so I couldn't just blow it by people. And I always was just command. I would try to control first, and velocity would come as I get older.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always the guy that spotted it up, and it's worked out very good because they say advanced, but I just feel like, I can command all 4 pitches at any time, and it's helped me out a lot.
Right. That's the one thing that they do talk about is that it's all plus. Each one of them that they give you is a plus. And so how do you throw all your pitches? Fastball, 2-seam. Do you have?
Fastball is just a regular 4-seam.
Okay.
The curveball is pretty much a normal curveball grip. I just try to get on top, kind of like a 12-6, and then the slider, I just hold it on one side of the ball and I don't try to do much, just kind of throw it. It's a hard slider.
Mm-hmm.
And then the changeup's it's a different grip. It's just with 2 fingers, and and it's worked out. So.
Yeah, and do you have anything that you'd like to try to work on a little bit more of those 4 that you're not as confident in?
Oh yeah, all of them, especially the off speed. It's just got to get better, with control and feel with it. So,
how surprised were you at how you did in rookie ball?
I didn't expect to go out there and get shelled. I didn't know what to expect. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know if they were gonna be really good, if I was just gonna go out there but it was good for me. I learned how to prepare before start. That was a big thing.
Did you change your routine?
No, I didn't really change the routine much, but in high school I played, I wasn't just pitching.
Mm-hmm.
My thing to do was pitch. And so in between starts, I just had to focus on what I was doing. I got lifts in, bullpens, what I needed to focus on in certain bullpen if something wasn't good to start before. And, that was a lot of fun, being able to learn how to prepare. And there was older guys there and rehab guys. And then you had pitching coaches and pitching instructors around me.
So for the person who doesn't understand, give me an idea of when you throw a bullpen. What are you going out to try to do? Especially on a day that you're not starting.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the start before usually.
Okay.
But you really go in a bullpen, it's a little touch and feel. You want to be able to spot everything up and get a good feel for everything before your next start. If you didn't throw say I didn't throw my curveball well in the start before, I'd throw more curveballs in this bullpen to make sure I got it back, where I wanted to, or change-ups or whatever, or fastballs.
Right.
If my fastball command wasn't where I needed it, then we'd throw a lot more fastballs.
How important is it to have that relationship with the catcher? Because do they put it where they want you to have it, or do you put it where you want to throw it?
Relationship with the catcher is huge.
Okay.
I think at times people don't realize how much it means to a pitcher when you start shaking off a lot of pitches, you start thinking too much and you get out of a rhythm.
Okay.
When you can just trust your catcher and it takes time to figure out a pitcher when you can just kind of almost not shake off, but every once in a while it helps so much.
Who was the best catcher you worked with?
They were all good. I mean, there was the guy that caught me the most he got drafted with me this year. I roomed with him, so he was a really good catcher.
Right.
But at times we wouldn't throw the right pitches, but that's kind of it was expected. We're both high school guys, and we'll probably move up together if I had to guess, and be able to.
So that relationship, one way or the other, he's got to have the confidence in you to put it where he wants it, and you've got to have the confidence to call for what you want at that point in time. Your church, you've done a lot with the church as well. How grounded are you in your faith?
It's huge. I've gone right down the road from my house every Sunday kind of deal. When I've come back home, I've been able to go, and the church support was great. They would send me notes, like people in the church would send me notes when I was, up there in Arizona, and it means a lot because it's kind of like a family, and you see people at church, and when I go to church, I don't have to. It's like you're just there. They're expecting you to be there. You're just kind of a member,
but you have your own relationship.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've talked to a lot of athletes, and they say at times when I'm out there by myself and I need some help, I need somebody to rely on. Faith is pretty big on the ladder.
Yes, it's the top. It's the main thing.
Yeah.
If you've got the faith, you can do anything. And it helps when you're struggling. You just lean on, God, and, good things will happen.
ECU coach Godwin, how big has he been to you?
He has been huge. He recruited me, and so our relationship was like, it was like I was a recruit, but it was like I was one of his players, and I had already played for him before. And now it's kind of changed into like a best friend kind of relationship. We've lived together. His birthday's today, actually. So,
there you go.
Yeah. And it's been great. It's been cool to watch, him as he grows, because he's a young head coach.
Yeah.
And then he's been able to watch me and help me down up to this point, and it's been cool to live with him and see how he does things.
What's the strangest recruiting letter, phone call when you were going through that process? What was the strangest story in that whole process that you can share with us?
There was some strange ones that I probably can't share, but
somebody show up that you didn't expect them in a place, somebody call you when you weren't expecting it, that kind of thing. I've heard phone calls.
Oh yeah, there would be some weird calls, at kind of weird times. You're doing something, and I don't know, you're on a date or something, or you're out with your family, and you get a phone call, and you're like, do I answer this right now, or what do I do? Yeah. So that was tough, but there was nothing way out the way.
Nothing that really bothered you?
Nah.
Coach Harwood, he seems to me to be a guy that, he told me he realized when you were about 9 or 10 years old, and when you were playing Legion ball in the 8th grade, that you were competitive. And he said that you had a chance to be pretty good at that point in time. And then he said 10th grade, there was a jump in your competitiveness. What was the reason for that? Do you remember?
I think playing with older guys helped a lot. Kind of always being, I wouldn't, maybe the underdog, or the smaller guy. You had to have something else in you, to win, because you were so much smaller and overmatched. And I was around older guys all the time, and I think that helped. And then at times, it was confidence. Hey, you have success, you have confidence. At times, overconfident, and if the game doesn't, humble you, that's what Coach Harwood was there for. So it was good. Playing with older guys was probably, I would say,
I asked him for a story about you, and he's you're looking at me. There you go. He said, "Tell him when I gave him the business before his 10th grade season."
Oh yeah, so that was the overconfident. Off season, we were doing off season workouts. I wasn't listening. I would kind of I had success. I was a little big headed. I was strutting around, and he lit me up. He made me feel really like I was not worth anything. And that was the best thing that's ever happened to me, because it made me realize that I wasn't, I hadn't done anything yet, and it made me work hard, and it humbled me. So.
Yeah. When you signed the deal, again, you come from good family. You're a humble young man. You don't seek the spotlight. When you signed the deal, what's the first thing you splurged on for MacKenzie?
A vehicle. So I got me a new truck. Other than that, I didn't. I mean, I did buy me some golf clubs, if that counts.
Oh, yeah, that counts. I'm a golfer, too. I'm right there with you.
So I had to get me some new golf clubs and a truck, but that's it.
Yeah.
I haven't spent much money. The truck was, that was a lot of money, but
I mean, that's something that you're going to have and a memory.
Yeah.
Have you heard the stories, and how important is it to you to not be one of those stories that people tell in 25 or 30 years of a top draft pick that A, didn't work out, or B, ends up broke 25 years down the line?
Yeah. Means a lot, but I've got people around me that have seen it all. They've been around it for a long time, and that deal with me and my money and the baseball side, and it helps a lot that you've got people around you that know what to do and how to get people where they need to be, and that helps.
25 years ago or so, I mean longer than that because I've been in Wilmington 25 years, I was working in New Bern, and there was a young man by the name of Brian Taylor who played for East Carteret, who was, I mean, this kid could throw BBs.
Yeah.
And was drafted and then ended up getting into a fight and never made it because he got hurt.
Yeah.
It's a tragic story because he wanted to help his family. What did you do, or have you had to be careful since you've gotten a little bit of the notoriety and places you've gone and people trying to maybe take advantage of you? How has that been?
Now that, kind of lights on you have to be careful where you go. But nobody's tried to take advantage of me. That's been really, it's cool. Everybody at home, when I go out, out to eat in Whiteville, or at times here in Wilmington, people just congratulate me, and that's really it. They don't bother me too much. But you just have to watch where you go and what you do. But I've always kind of been skittish when I've done that, even before the hype was around me. And that was a lot of my parents too, so they helped a lot with that, and I didn't have to change anything. So.
You never had to, I mean, obviously you had to be aware of some of those kind of stories growing up. You read those kind of tragic stories.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part of those. You don't want to be the guy that had off the field problems and couldn't, he just wanted to have fun and he didn't pan out. You don't want to be that guy. When you start signing big contracts, that's a lot of fun, and when you retire, you can have fun.
But it's a lot of responsibility too.
Oh yeah, yep. And I mean, that's anybody. When you 18, I didn't go to college. That's the only difference. But when people get out of college, they have to get a job and have to be responsible. And that's the same thing. So I don't have any excuses where I can just go goof off.
You sit back, you relax. You take that truck, you go out to the first tee, or you go out to the driving range. Do you ever just sit back and say, "Man, wow"?
Yeah. That's good too, to kind of get off the field. That's like when you're hunting, you're just kind of out there by yourself. You're able to take everything in and just kind of relax. And at times you're like, man, this is crazy. What's going on? So at times but you need to soak it in. That's part of it. That's part of enjoying it. Soak everything in, and that's been good.
When you go back to work, you go out to Arizona, do you, or has anybody ever talked to you about a time frame? This year A ball, next year AA ball. What do they tell you about you and your career that we'll be seeing in the next couple of years?
I wish I knew, the answer to that. But I mean, they've said a thing here or there. But with the way the minor league the minor leagues work, there's no telling where I'll be. I mean, I'm not going to be in AAA this year. I can tell you that. But if they're going to try to work me up, they're not just going to throw me out in the fire. I'm going to be a slower guy. I'm a high school guy. So, but really, if you pitch good, you move up. That's just that's how it works.
Right.
So, that's all I can tell you.
2018 will be a successful year for MacKenzie Gore if what?
If I keep doing what I'm doing, and if I work hard, if I outwork everybody else, and just if I stay healthy. That's big, knock on wood, but staying healthy is huge. But even if you get hurt, you still can learn something from it. Now, there's always if I am going to be successful, I'm going to have to learn every day, learn something new every day, and watch the older guys when I get to spring training, the big leaguers, see how they do things, and it'll be good. It'll be a lot of fun. So
and you'll be flashing that smile all across the country.
Yep.
It's been fun to watch you get better.
Yep. Thank you.
And it's been fun to to cover all of this attention to Whiteville again, number one, but to you and your family. It's going to be fun to watch your career kind of blossom in the minor leagues and in the major leagues. I appreciate you taking some time today and carving out a little bit of your time. And
thanks for having me.
We wish you nothing but the best as you head out to spring training. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks to MacKenzie for coming in for this week's podcast episode. He's about ready to report to his first spring training with the San Diego baseball organization. Don't know exactly where he's going to go for this first full season as a pro player, but no doubt wherever it is, he'll report there and he'll work hard and strive to be the best player on the baseball diamond. Coming up next week, a real treat. Orlando Jones, actor, stand-up comedian, entrepreneur, sits down for our interview.
And then it was that reel of commercial work that I'd done that got me noticed by a different world. And they flew me out to LA, interviewed me, and hired me, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I got some great advice, which was shut up. And I wasn't allowed to talk for 26 weeks. That's a true story. I sat in the writing room for 26 weeks, and I was not allowed to say anything. And at 14 weeks, I thought I was ready, and I pitched a joke. And Gary Miller turned to me. He said, "Do you want to peddle that joke door to door with an effing manual?" And I was like, wow. And he goes, "I thought I told you to shut up." And I was like,
really?
Absolutely. Great lessons of my life, truly.
26 weeks, you couldn't say anything in the meeting room.
And it's important to understand why. I think the tradition of master and apprentice is often lost on us now because everybody thinks they're a master. You got to apprentice first.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. But 26 weeks was just the beginning of that apprenticeship process.
That's Orlando Jones next week, right here on the podcast. If you know someone who you think would be a good interview for an upcoming episode, please send me an email to jevans@wect.com and let me know who it is. And if you leave us a rating or a review for this week's episode and you send me a screenshot by email, you could be the lucky listener we pick at random, and we'll send you that WECT travel mug. I'm John Evans. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of One on One.